Hey there, my name is Paul. I'm 40 years old from Denver, Colorado, and this is Financial Audit.
Welcome down to Austin. Thanks for taking the trip. What do you do up in Denver for a living?
Right now, I'm currently between self-employments, and I do a little bit of contract work with the IT companies.
In between self-employments?
In between self-employments, yeah.
Okay, so what was the previous self-employment?
I sold yard art and wall art on Etsy. So,
whoa, all right. What kind of art were you doing?
So like Charlie Brown seasonal yard art. So you see like little signs out in the front yard of like a Christmas tree or for Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. So all sorts of seasons. So I made a bunch of those. Mm-hmm. And then I also made wall art that you can put on your wall with for video games, comic book logos.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm, LED lights.
So you're creative.
A little bit.
Why'd you stop that?
I got banned on Etsy for blatant copyright infringement.
Oh, I guess that's kind of fair.
Mm-hmm. Which is
sucks, but it's fair.
I always knew it was a possibility, which is I have unmanaged ADD, which let me basically ignore the issue. And like I knew this was an issue. I always knew I had to diversify from Etsy, get off like Shopify, get off diversify.
And
make
did you?
More.
And did you?
I started doing it about March, 2 weeks before I got banned.
Okay.
It was on
How's that going then?
It's okay. It keeps up. I had to spend and work a lot harder to get the traffic there. Yeah. Because Etsy is such a amazing market. Like, so people, are going there looking to shop, and the competition is so much. I have a lot less competition there. So like you could Google Snoopy yard art. Yeah. I have 5 competitors, and I do really good work. So
how much are you making off of that right now on average? Because I know obviously sales are probably up and down and up and down.
Yeah. So for 21, I made about $80,000.
Woo. Okay. 22. Because 21's a while ago now.
Oh yeah. So 22 is when I got banned. So I got banned in March of last year.
Okay.
And
how have we been doing since?
Last, I think I got about 40-ish, but
last year?
I took home about 40, I think, but
this year so far?
Still a little weaker. I've been dealing with a whole lot of stuff, so I haven't been promoting and working as hard as I should have. Okay. And which is, once again, all the ADD stuff I've been struggling with. And basically I had like unmanaged ADD, and I knew I've had this since I was in kindergarten. But I always thought it was just, it makes me a little bit more hyper, a little bit more impulsive. But what I didn't realize is all the executive function stuff, like how it actually affects your mind and affects like planning, impulsivity, ability to stick with everything, emotional regulation. And so because of all that stuff I didn't realize I was dealing with, I was struggling to get the business back up and running because I had to actively work towards it. And now because instead of just taking every year, growing my business to a new level, getting new exciting challenges, I'm having to go back and deal with a lot, all the old stuff. So I'm a lot more bored.
Okay. Well, what do you think you've brought in this year so far from that? Hey guys, and happy Wednesday. This past Monday, I talked about the fact that we have launched the best budgeting program in the history of the internet at the lowest price. I just wanted to bring it up again because right now it's actually at a discount, even though it's already at the lowest price compared to other budgeting courses, and it's at that discount until the end of Cyber Monday, this next upcoming Monday. And the first 250 people that sign up, well, they get their budget personally reviewed by my team and I. We review literally every top budgeting course that existed online months ago, and honestly, they kind of sucked, and they always tried to upsell you, and it was just crap financial guru bull. So we decided there needed to be a resource out there that contained actual resources, actual information, not one size fits all, help people build budgets for the specific situation and help them maintain it and build wealth over time. So we did just that, and then we priced it at about 1/3 of what other people offer programs for. And we're not going to upsell you. We're not going to include bullshit. It's a straightforward, good information to teach you how to live a better life, financially speaking. So take control of your finances for the first time in your life today. Start now in the top of the description below, just to get income on paper.
I haven't really looked at everything. Probably like 20-ish. November and December are my best months. So that's when I really bring in the money. So I'm hoping to bring in another 20 or 30 as well. but I'm also keeping a lot of money in the shop because as some of your buddies on the Money Guys channel have asked you about,
yes,
how much are you saving up? And I was not saving any money in my shop.
Well, and your business checking account has like $80 in it, at least at the time of the statements, which is...
Oh, no, the statements I sent you were my personal.
I have a business checking account.
It shouldn't. I didn't think I sent that.
Oh, let's see. I could be wrong. Let's
I sent you like my SoFi one, which is the savings.
I have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to see like $1,000 in there, but
it should. That one right there you're looking at, that's all my personal. And if I sent the business one, oh no, that's
Chase
just
for business.
Yeah, that's just the heading I have because I had to create a business account with Chase, but then when I recreated a new personal one, all the stuff showed up. So, but yeah, that's my personal.
Do you have a business checking account?
I do.
Do you use it?
Quite often.
Why don't I have it?
It's being handled by my CPA right now. So being managed by that. And I'm really working to separate my personal and the business finances. Yeah. So, and like I said, I got the CPA working on that.
Okay. So, transitioning to a new self-employment, what's the new self-employment?
Well, like I said, I'm going to get back into this. So once I hit
so it's the same thing.
Yeah. So once I hit a certain milestone, I'm going to, quit my contract job. And
what's the milestone?
Basically 150,000 a year in sales.
How do you get there if we've gone down? Now I know, you say a massive impact for mental health, which totally get.
Yeah.
It's justifiable. But if we're on the downtrend, how are we getting to 150?
Well, part of the downtrend this year, I was not spending as much on advertising as I should have. And so I've been off of Etsy, it's not been as much. And, but on Etsy, it's picking up. So, comparison in October of last year, I had like 2,000 in sales, and in October of this year, I had 10,000.
Do you have any metrics on your previous advertising?
Some, and that was part of the problem because I was dealing with so much stuff. What over the last year, I wasn't really looking into it like I should have.
Where did you advertise before?
On Google.
Okay. What were your average conversion rates?
I don't know. So
okay, what was your average? Do you know your cost per customer?
That's the thing. So I was doing the bare minimum. Like I was just throwing money at it, and I know I was getting some results, but I was not looking into it like I should have because I kept getting distracted. I was drinking a lot. So
really?
Yeah. So I was drinking a lot in the evening, and I'll be hungover during the day, and and so my focus was all over the place, and that's what I was struggling with. I didn't realize that when you have ADD, you need like three things. Like you need medication, which I was taking, but that only kind of really helps you just maintain, a semi-functional life. But if you really want to start, moving up and improving, you need a lot of structure. And which I had that with my business. So like I had a morning routine, I'd go into my work, and then I'd have my evening routine, and I was able to just kind of build something effective. And even like the boring stuff I'd get done with my business because I'm on my business time. Okay, I can't make something, but I'm now going to, do taxes or finances.
Well, are you sure you did taxes? Because we owe about $1 billion trillion in taxes.
Yeah, that was part of the problem with it. But once I got banned, all my structure fell apart. I wasn't able to get my medication. So
why?
I didn't have money.
Okay.
I had about 10,000 saved up. And so it was able to last me a few months, but I'm having to pay my personal rent. I'm having to pay a business rent for materials, and it ate through my.
In the healthcare exchanges, though, I do know, whether it be a layoff or business income drying up, you can go there, and even when it's not the what's the word? Not the enrollment period. You can go there in those emergency situations.
Yeah.
And then if your income was practically zero, which you're making it sound like it was, you can get on something, a plan for basically free if you make no money.
But I think that's based on your previous year's tax income. And so the previous year I had plenty of
No. But what you're able to say in there, because I've seen it before. I once almost had to do it myself. I was very worried then, but in that situation, you're like, yes, this is what I made last year, but guess what? The income has gone to zero. Like you say that, and then they back check it come next tax season. But
Okay. Well, a lot of the stuff I just didn't know about. Plus, like I said, my focus was all over the place. Honestly, like looking back to last year, it's just a blur just because of all the stress I was under. You know, like I said, I was drinking a whole lot. It was well, really bad.
How's our drinking today?
Well, actually, it's really good. And all thanks to your friend, franchise killer Graham. I mean, he, a couple of months ago, he put out a video on why he doesn't drink. And two things that really stuck out to me was how he said even one drink would take away his edge and how much he needed that for his business. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm struggling with that a lot too. Yeah. But the most important thing he did was link a video to Huberman Lab on, it was like a 2-hour video on what alcohol does to you. And I'm watching this thing and I'm just like, holy cow, this thing is just so much worse than I thought it was. And then Dr. Huberman also mentioned that chronic drinking affects like impulsivity and bad habitual behaviors, even outside of drinking. So even if I stopped and I was just going through my next day, it was making everything worse. And I was like, okay, I have ADD. This thing's making everything worse. And then I just kind of started going down a rabbit hole looking into what ADD was.
Well, we're definitely taking a lot of looking back, but I want to look where we are today and look forward. I know, obviously, I mean, from this conversation so far, it sounds like you definitely want to talk about the impacts of mental health and everything. And obviously, that's a very important part of your life, and I get that. Let's figure out where your finances are today. I mean, how much money across the contracting and I guess the 40,000 you've brought in this year. What have you brought in this year total? What's your income been?
Okay, so I only started my contract job in April. Currently making 25, but it's coming to an end.
25 an hour? Or?
Yeah, 25 an hour.
How many hours a week?
40 a week. No overtime.
But it's coming to an end. But it's coming to an end?
Yeah, and it's still like another 2 or 3 months, but I'm currently looking for some new contract, and because of your insistence on getting certifications, I got a few of those as well. And
well, not necessarily. It depends on, we don't just get certifications to get certifications.
No, these are, I got some smart ones for my field because I did IT for 15 years.
So it's for what you wanted then?
Yes. Okay. So like I did IT for 15 years before going self-employed. Coming back in, a lot of people are like, oh, you're out of date. So I have the contract to do some basic IT work, which is getting me some more experience. Plus I've taken the relevant certifications. So my next job should be into like the 30 to 40 range, probably about 35 an hour.
Okay. And just to be clear for people out there, because I always talk about it all the time, like, yes, I do love certifications. I love trade school. I love community college. I talk about tech certifications to things like CourseGuards. It's always good as alternatives if you know what you want to do and it's in the proper path of what you want to do. But we also had a recent guest on here who he was going down multiple paths and he took out certifications and education and all this stuff or all these things, but didn't know what he wanted to do. But I'm glad he ended up, cool. I mean, that's good. And then you want to build up the business, obviously. And you said if you get it to $150,000 a year, you will
go back to doing it full time.
Will you pay your taxes then?
Yes. And like I said, I got the accountant this time. So we're actually getting everything taken care of for this year. I didn't make anything for the last 3 quarters, but so this quarter I am setting aside money for taxes because I am doing a small payout to myself, but it's also kind of a mixed bag because I put so much of my money from my personal side back into the business this year. So how much of it is, income versus just repayment for whatever.
Okay. I'll take a brief moment to thank today's episode sponsor, Moomoo. They want to help you start investing so badly that they are giving you up to 15 free stocks just for making your first deposit. That's 15 free stocks just for getting started. I don't know about you, but I would personally never say no to free stocks. Now, if you don't already know yet, Moomoo is my go-to investing platform for stock analysis, and that's because they have a ton of free research tools and an incredibly helpful Learn section, which comes in handy, especially considering how intimidating and overwhelming investing can be at first. And that's why Moomoo is willing to give so many of you free stocks just for signing up for a new account and making your first deposit. So now there's literally no excuses to getting started. And if you already have a stock portfolio, then they are going to credit you up to $400 in cash rewards just to transfer that portfolio over to Moomoo. And if you're just joining Moomoo and don't want to invest just yet, that's okay. Because Moomoo now offers 5.1 APY on the cash that you aren't quite ready to invest, which happens to be one of the highest yields in the entire brokerage industry. And you know how much I love making that money work for me. So thank you to Moomoo for supporting the channel and providing my audience with up to 15 free stocks and that 5.1 yield on your uninvested cash. Now let's get back to the program. So we make like 1,000 hours a week from the contracting job.
Yeah.
Before you set anything aside. And we've made 40,000 hours this year so far from the Etsy. Oh, not Etsy, but the Etsy adjacent.
The Etsy stuff. No, I've been able to pay myself out about 5,000 this year so far. And with most of it's coming in, like I said, November and December.
What do you think you're going to make in the next 2 months? I'm just trying to get a grasp.
I know. Just say maybe I might pay myself 10,000 and leave all the rest in Etsy. Or I'm sorry, in the shop account to just, create a buffer for next year. Because I'll be in my slow period after January or February.
Well, I don't like that the high period is $10,000, right? That doesn't get us to $150,000.
Well, no. My goal is to pump a lot of money into the shop and basically create, a 3 or 4 month emergency fund.
Oh, your distributions.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just keeping it all there. And that way.
How much money do you think the business is going to make these next 2 months?
Within the next, by the end of December, probably 40, 50 grand.
Okay, cool. All right. So we have collection of something. Something. Yeah. Well, what was this collections for?
What?
Here.
This one. It was a credit card that basically I couldn't pay on last year.
It was last year.
Yeah. All the collection stuff is from last year, and
so they're not even close to falling off then.
Yeah, which is weird. They don't even show up on my credit report. The only thing that showed up on my credit report or Credit Karma is my student loans.
Karma. Okay. Well, what I would do is I'd pull your free credit reports, like your actual credit reports that you can pull once a year.
That's on my to-do list. I kept putting it off for other reasons.
Yeah, because you never know. So 1,826. 54 cents. Yeah. For a past credit card. Okay. And then portfolio recovery. So this is also probably collections.
That's another $8,000 one. That's a other credit card. That was
8,000?
I think it should be portfolio. I have a couple of them in there.
I don't think that one's 8.
This one is portfolio recovery. Oh, this is a weird one. It's a Best Buy one that's 7-ish years old. And I don't know why they sent this to me over the summer. I don't know why it's still there. I don't even know what it's from.
Well, technically, so it'll fall off the.
We say it'll fall off after 7 years, but
of your credit report.
Yeah, but they can collect it for 10 or up to 10 or something.
2,047, and this is not on your credit.
None of the collection stuff is on my credit report, which is so weird.
Have you tried another app? Other than Credit Karma, like the Experian app or something?
I have not yet.
It might be worth seeing what other people are saying.
Yeah. Okay. And I do need to pull the credit report. That's on the to-do list for this month. And as I've been putting things back together. Yeah, each month I kind of focus on a little bit of a different thing. So September was really getting my budget dialed in. August was getting over the alcohol stuff.
Well, has the budget dialed in?
You're going to be very happy with it. I think I should have sent you 6 months worth of my budget I use the Every Dollar budgeting app. So you can see, I sent a PDF with all of it.
Okay. Yeah, I probably, let's see. Okay. And other collections. Collections number 2.
Yeah.
Well, are all the collections basically credit cards?
One of them is student loan, and then the other and
$654. $654.
That's from Quest. I have 3 things in for Quest.
Oh, I see it.
And that amount to about $1,000. But once again, doesn't show on the report.
When was this? This was also within the last year?
All from last year.
With the money. Yeah. You only made 40 total last year distributed?
And I don't really know how much of that's how much I show on the payout, but I don't know how much of it was basically pumped right back into the business, or I might have bought materials on my personal account, because my whole finances for last year were a mess.
I'm glad you started to sit down with the CPA, because this is going to be intense, especially as we get to the debt. Okay. And other collections, $206. This is also from Quest. Okie dokie.
Oh, yeah, that's an SBA thing. I'm trying to find. I literally can't find anything on it. Apparently, I took a loan out back in 2019 from the government, or an SBA loan for the business, and but I don't know
what
it is.
174 is due now. Since this isn't a full statement, my question is this 174 is due as a payment or is that the total due?
I don't know. I've been looking for it.
What do you mean you've been looking? Why haven't you contacted them?
Well, I've been looking online for it, and this is...
Call?
Yes.
Email?
I have not called. I have not emailed. I've been looking on the SBA website for it. I'm trying to find it myself. Yeah, that's a mess.
Well, I don't know.
I don't even know what it is. And
National Credit Management. What was $6,751? That's a wild amount.
Yeah, that is a student loan, or part of a collection for student loan.
And amount and fees, $1,515 was added up. Student loans? What student loans?
I took some classes.
Yeah, but what student loans? Private, federal?
Mix of private and federal. I think this might be part of the private one, but everything else is federal.
Yeah, I was going to say that makes sense because that's some death. That's wild.
It gets worse.
I know. And here's one of them. IRS. What? Okay, so when is this from? Amount due by June 27th, 2022. It's like when I started this YouTube channel, by the way. $20,000.
That is the taxes. Between that and another one, it's about $29,000 that I checked yesterday.
So between this and
the taxes on the 401k1 withdrawal, yeah.
And where's that one? Is that this one?
I believe so. That should be a smaller one, like 5-ish.
Well, it's 8. Oh
no, I checked online. That one is 5 or 6, and this one is now up to like 23. I sent some updated numbers on one of the spreadsheets to you guys.
A fun thing now it's hard to qualify for. We've learned, but something I'm gonna put 30,000 for IRS. One, why haven't you tried to get on a payment plan? Because
I literally just got my act together back in September. That's when I started pulling all this together, and I saw the thing with the money guys and on doing the offer. I've looked into that. You're going to kill me for this. I still haven't done my taxes for last year. Well, I tried to do it back in April, and I literally just did not have the mental bandwidth to do anything because I have like some closed accounts that I had to go through all my statements for.
Mental health is real. Mental health is real. It's everything. And we are nothing if not our brain. What's really difficult in this conversation is anytime there's anything, what am I supposed to do when we just say, well, I couldn't do it because my brain, like what can I do with that?
Well, no. So right now, I'm making traction on a lot of stuff, and I've been, a lot of the stuff I do is, I hate to say it, kind of like a slow process, just fixing a little bit at a time. And so like I started just getting the budget together back in May. I was listening to Dave Ramsey a whole lot. And one of the things they said that really kind of stuck with me was, just your first month or two, sometimes don't even try to make a budget, just track your spending. And for me, like if I tried to make a budget, I would have failed. But if I just track my spending, I can do that. And so I've been piecemeal, 1 month at a time, getting things a little bit better. And I with the taxes and stuff, for some reason, I kind of thought I could get another extension this year for taxes. And if I, applied in October, I didn't realize there was an actual hard cutoff. And I had only set an appointment to speak with the accountant like October 10th. But so I hate to say it, I'm just kind of calling it a lesson learned, a hard and expensive lesson learned.
How much in contact have they been?
I've submitted all the paperwork for them. I gave them a call.
No, how much in contact have they been
with the IRS? Aside from a letter or two, nothing.
Okay, so there's not a lot of people working there, and there's a lot of people in your situation that's just like,
yeah. So
and their systems are like decades old, and it's
well, I did find the payment plan one, and it's like you can pay off in 180 days, which would be $5,000 a month. But
the only option they presented you?
Well, no, they had like multiple options, like pay off in 90, 120, 180, or a monthly payment plan.
Yeah.
And the 181, it'd be like maybe an extra $2,000 in fees and expenses, or if you did the monthly one, it would add an extra $10,000. So
okay, and then the hardship thing, it's hard because you do make money. Is it incredible? Not necessarily, but I wonder what I actually do not know right here, and it might be worth talking to your CPA about. I wonder if different mental health things, which have been clinically diagnosed, I wonder if that can play into that hardship. Yeah. So I don't know. That's something for you to figure out, and then I'm going to learn for myself after this as well.
Yeah, I'll email you anything I find out. But yeah, like my plan right now is once I hear back from the CPA on getting last year's taxes taken care of, and I can show the income and everything, then I'm going to go to the offer phase. Because I looked at that site yesterday, and they need some income for, you know, your federal income taxes for last year. So I need, you know, step one, step two. So once I get that taken care of.
Well, how long have you been working with the CPA?
I only had my first meeting with him back in early October.
What's been happening since then? For a full month.
So
has he made progress?
I've been paying off of other debts. You know, I've been
No. What has the CPA done?
So it took me about 2 weeks to get all my finances going through, because I had several closed accounts to go through, which I had to literally go through every single statement, you know, transaction by hand, file it, sort it, get everything taken care of. Sent that to him. I sent that to him 2 weeks ago. I called him last week, and I spoke to his assistant. He's like, she had said he would call me back. I never heard back from him. I called him yesterday, and she told me he's out of the office for a week. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but because he knows the situation I'm in. So I'm working it as much as I can from my end. And if I don't hear back from him by like next Monday or Tuesday, I'm just going to self-file and just
self-file. Or we could just go to another CPA that has good reviews, reputable in the area.
Yeah, so my cousins who are
careful with family.
Yeah, well, two of them are accountants, and they do like rental properties. And I asked them for who their accountant was, and that's who they recommend. And
that's this person?
Yes. And so apparently
I never do that. No, I would go off of community reviews.
Well, I trust my cousins. They're very smart people.
It always turns out when people get like recommended for family, and it's always on the show, it just has never worked. It's never worked out once on this show.
Yeah.
So, and I know I love my family too. Doesn't mean we go with everyone they use. I would do more reputable sources for reviews in terms of just wide swaths of hundreds or thousands of people who have worked with them instead of just someone we're close to.
Well, this is a firm. That's the thing. It's not some random guy working out of a shoebox. This is actual. But
that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So you owe a ton of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you pulled from your 401k.
I withdrew from my 401k in summer of 19 because I was an impulsive idiot. Sure. And I mean, it was only
How much did you pull? How much did you pull?
All of it, 30,000, and so they're like a 10,000 hit, so I got 20,000 out of it. But that's part of the debt to the taxes, but also another debt. Basically, I'm calling it a business debt to myself. So
what?
Because I'm going to
use the IRS debt?
No. I'm calling it. I view the money I withdrew from my 401k to fund the business as a business loan.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the business to pay.
That's what helps you perceive it.
I know. That way I've been tracking it. I said I'm going to give myself like whatever the return of the normal stock market would be. That's what the business has to pay me back first. So I'm going to try and recoup whatever I might have lost from not having it invested.
So every single month you don't pay, you're receiving $187 of fees.
From the IRS? Yeah.
Interest rate's at 4%, but it's just the fees that are being added onto it is what's killing it. So you need to get in. Okay.
I know.
Now, okay, so this is we already went over that. Okay. Yeah. There was one more in here. Colorado. Yeah. So state taxes that you didn't
2,000. I'm probably just going to knock that out this month.
This is 2021 though. Well, what's it valued today?
I believe that's about the same. I spoke with them and I set up a payment plan for it. I got the ball rolling and made the first payment at the beginning of the month. And
what's the monthly payment?
Just like $100, but I'm hoping, or not hoping, I will have it paid off by the end of the month or by the end of December based off of kind of what we talk about. And that's an option to put on the table.
I mean, I would love to. Is there interest rate on this?
I think it's a relatively small one. I haven't.
Okay. What's this? First source. Balance to $8,593. What is this?
That should be the second credit card I had. That was probably my business credit card.
Okay. all that qualifies to not be a credit card person is literally just accruing interest once. If we're going into collections, you're beyond not a credit card person. So I hope you have none open today.
I have none open right now. And not to really argue with it, I was handling that for years and did not have.
That's great, but then you didn't, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I know, and it blew up, and I'd like to get back into it at some point, but
I don't know.
Once I have a sufficient safety net for everything, so even if I lose my business or job, I have months of income.
The benefits are geared more towards college students, but if you're going to use a card, use something like the Fizz card, dude.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Where it's just like you swipe it, it automatically gets paid off like a debit card, because I think that's all you can manage.
Yeah.
And the budgeting things that you've been learned, that's great. I'm glad that you've done stuff through Dave Ramsey and everything. They don't really teach budgeting very well, though. It's very basic, and it is kind of like one size fits all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you through our program, and we split it out into like 8 different personalities, and one definitely applies to you. So go through that. It's like 4 hours, and there's things you can plug into, like perfect budgeting thing, debt payoff calculator. So I'm going to put you through that for free, obviously, because you're a guest on this show. So do that, and I think that's really actually good. That's going to apply to you.
I'll be happy to do it, but I'm pretty happy with the budget I've set up because
as long as it's working, that's good.
Yeah.
But you told me beforehand is one thing you struggle with is, okay, we have a budget and then sticking to it. And that's one of the big things that we teach is how to do that.
Which is, I made a few different changes to the budget to account for days I'm not sticking with it, and like some buffers and guardrails, which, hopefully will help, some other folks out there who might be struggling with ADD and spending and all that stuff.
Now here's your federal student loans. Yeah. At $8,243. The highest one's close to 7%.
Yeah, that's only.
As this started up. Have you made your first payment?
Made 2 October? Already. Yeah. And
what's the payment?
I think 130-ish. Yeah, so, but I paid like 260. For some reason, the first one didn't go through, so I just made 2 at the end of the month.
Okay. Well, at least your minimum monthly payments aren't that crazy because everything's in collections.
Yeah, I know. And
great.
And that's some of it. We got the debt tracker right there, which show some additional ones. I have
there's more?
2 more. I know.
All right, what is it?
Basically, my family and friends were helping me out last year, and so I got like $20,000 from my family.
Oh, me.
Split $10,000 to the personal side to kind of just help with rent at home, and like another $10,000 was at the shop for like materials and rent there.
Okay. What's the repayment agreement for that?
Pay when I can. And the same for the friend. It was a $10,000 one. He was helping.
An additional 10.
Additional 10, yes. But
did you ask for that?
He offered.
Okay. Must be a great friend.
Best friends, really helped me out of a lot of some bad situations before. But
how's the relationship with the friend and the family now?
It's fantastic because it helps that I have the previous success of the shop, so they know I'm not just taking the money and running, and it wasn't being frittered away, and so they know I'm going to pay it back. And I've already paid back a friend of mine about $2,000 so far, and so it's either 5.
Now, what happens in this entire situation where? Okay, you were doing successful for a bit, and let's just say we get successful again because we've taken some control of things. Okay, what if a lot of the mental health things come back like we talked about, and we head into a situation where we have been these last 3 years? What happens then where we owe money to the family, we owe money to the friends, we owe money to the IRS, we have things in collections that have only just gone into collections?
Well, so a lot of the mental health stuff was coming because I essentially did not know what I was struggling with. And I told you I built a lot of structure for myself, but it was just subconsciously doing it. And so I made a lot of effort to bring that subconscious stuff out consciously. So I keep a lot more structure in my life. I'm much more intentional about creating the structure. Plus I've been getting therapy. And
good. And you're seeing medical experts for medication.
Yeah. So I've been able to get my meds back up. And
have those seemed effective to you?
Oh yeah, they've worked plenty before, and I've been taking medicine since I was literally in kindergarten.
And therapy is helping?
Yes, it's really great. And so between the therapy and I do some ADD support groups, and that are just fantastic. They have like weekly support runs, and we'll just talk about what's going on in our lives. So a lot of people, who might be brand new to realizing they have ADD and like, how do I fix this stuff? And other people who've been dealing with it for a long time, like me, and can offer strategies and support.
Okay. All right. Well, let's head into the checking account.
Mm-hmm.
$285. Scary. What's your rent?
$900.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. But it's $285 because I have currently $4,500 in a separate SoFi savings for emergency fund.
Savings, though. But $285 in a checking account. What if automatic payments and things happen?
I have 3. One for the phone, insurance.
3 automatic payments?
Yeah. Okay. And everything else like utilities and rent, I just pay with like Venmo or Zelle. But I think you're actually going to be pretty happy with this one overall.
Why are you giving money to Etsy?
That one, I bought something and it should have gone to my personal or my business card, and it did not. And there are a few things that there are a few charges you'll see that hit, and that should have been covered by the business. And as soon as I saw them, I fixed it on the website. Got the right card.
Okay. Amazon, Reams. What's ED Reams?
ED Dreams was plane ticket for Thanksgiving to visit the family. That was
Where's family?
Michigan, so Hillsdale.
Where I'm from.
And
not in the Hillsdale, but
that was actually in the budget. Like everything you see, if you look at my Dave Ramsey or Every Dollar app, I have the budget for everything. And like it shows like my planned spending for the month.
It doesn't make sense though. If we have IRS debt, why is 5.1% of spending going out to eat? That doesn't make sense. That's not budget.
Yes, it is.
That's not correct.
I budgeted.
That doesn't follow Ramsey. That doesn't follow me.
Well, that's part of what I had to do. I know. I had. Well, one, my eating out budget used to be like literally $450, $500 a month.
Congratulations.
And I've been bringing it down. I've been bringing it down like 50 to 100 a month over the last few months. I've tried to just cut it out completely, and just by my impulsive nature and everything, just not sticking. But I'm slowly making the improvement. And what I did actually for the last month.
Okay, that's fine. And if you're slowly making improvement, but you can't tell me your budget's good though. If it's not there where it should be, we can't just be patting ourselves on the back. Cool, we're making progress. We can celebrate that fact, but we can't just sit here and say our budget's good.
Yeah. Oh no, please understand. I'm not trying to say this is a perfect budget, but it's an imperfect budget that I can maintain consistently, which is the most important thing for me. And
yes,
I'm making improvements to it every month.
I have IRS debt, man. We got to make it better.
I know.
Lakewood alignment, is that
was
bone cracking?
No, car repair.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously that's necessary. Now there's the Thanksgiving trip. I mean, but yeah, family is very important. It's just like Ramadan ends. That's more travel. It's like and we did something in the Denver court, Home Depot. This was probably for the business, but it was through personal checking. Again, we don't have your business, so I don't even know what money is going in and out of there. You didn't send me that.
Well,
but Home
what
Depot
I did
was $694.
There's a reason for that one. Is in the beginning of October. Sorry to cut you off. In the beginning of October, I got a little digital lockbox, and I put all my cards in it, so I wouldn't carry them around with me during the day.
Credit cards?
All my cards, like debit card, yeah, and.
You need a lockbox for that instead of just leaving them at home?
It was more just like that ritual, the fact that I'm just doing something. And I just found
I like that, and I'm supporting that, but $700?
So I went, I was doing some work that night with a friend of mine. That's also why I did a Chick-fil-A expense. And I grabbed the wrong card by mistake out of the box. I was supposed to grab my business card, and I grabbed the personal one by mistake. So as soon as that happened, I was at Home Depot. I just transferred the money over from my personal account to my business to the personal, and made a note on it that it's covering supplies.
And ATM withdrawal taken out.
That's $200.
$200.
And that's.
We also went to the comedy club. We have a Crunchyroll subscription. We got $21 at Taquitos, most likely, and then another $24 at Taquitos, most likely. And Etsy, again, you gave them money. And the Sandia Skies and Micro Center as well.
Micro Center was a business, not a business, my work expense. I have to buy some stuff for work. I do on-site computer repair, so I have to buy tools and whatnot.
Okay, so just Micro Center. Awesome.
Yeah. And so you'll see like a lot of parking things. All of those are reimbursed.
All the large purchases and the other stuff I just talked about, I mean, that comes out to an additional 34% of your spending. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot. And then the subscription is about 2% of our spending.
Yeah, the Crunchyroll was a trial, and I forgot to forgot to
Ship station
cancel
makes sense, but
like that was my fault. I should have made a reminder in my phone to cancel it, and I didn't. But as soon as I got the notification for it, I canceled it immediately. So that's gone.
A Patreon, we shouldn't be supporting others.
I canceled. You're right. I had a bunch of them actually because once again, I'll be an idiot, and I canceled a whole lot. I thought I canceled all of them, missed one, and as soon as that thing
every dollar is $86
for a year.
Oh, okay.
And there's a Rocket Money thing for like $4, and like I was testing them both out, and I liked the every dollar, so I canceled Rocket Money and went with every dollar. But it was $80. Honestly, kind of the cheaper one compared to like Rocket Money or YNAB or whatnot. So they're like $10-15 a month.
Yeah, they're also just you need a budget. So it has a hard learning curve, but it does so much more.
Well, that's what I really liked about the every dollar one is. The other one just kind of seem to really track your expenses, but every dollar you start the month off by allocating where your money is going.
And
that helped me a whole lot.
And then FocusMate. Amazon, Walgreens, PetSmart, that all comes out to an additional 7% of spending. And then, yes, you're going out to eat. That was just over 5%, where grocery stores was only 4%.
Yeah.
So,
and this month is I've been actually working on meal prep and doing like I said,
it's not an option.
Yeah, like I said, 1 month at a time, I'm getting better at stuff.
Sure.
And
Go ahead.
And you're right. Everyone in the comments is gonna crucify me on this.
No, they might hate me because I feel like I'm kind of being a dick right now. But it's just like we have a story for everything. Yeah. So go ahead.
And this is exactly why I came here. And honestly, this is what I struggled with for so long. And I like to think I'm pretty self-aware of myself, and I know what does and does not work. And I'm not using this as an excuse to just say, I can spend whatever I want because I know it won't work. No, but I know that in the past when I have tried to go like, all or nothing, just either cut out all eating out, all this, it didn't work.
Yes.
Because I'd have like either a few bad days and it would just fall off the wagon and I'd just like, screw it, I don't care. Or I'd just be too impulsive and I could not restrain myself. So
no, that's fine. Transitionary periods exist, and I put it in everyone's budget.
Mm-hmm.
I always give a conservative budget by the end of how many months it's going to take off, and I give a couple months of transitionary period. Now, we can't be transitioning forever. That's not going to be a thing.
I do have a end goal in mind, and
where's the end goal then?
About obviously pay off all the debts, and
when's the end goal?
Hopefully by the end of next year.
Of paying all this off, including the IRS?
Yeah.
You're hoping.
I have a 5-year track record with it, aside from, everything.
And 4 of the 5 years, though, has been down.
No.
3.
No, only like basically a year and a half. I mean.
What?
Like I lost my business last year, and I had like total sales of 60% or 60,000 last year, which was only down. I mean,
last year. But you took out 40. You took out 40 though last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish.
You're right. You're right.
But it was only down like from 21. I made like 180,000 in sales. So it was a massive hit, but I was able to bounce back relatively well.
Question on that then, because I mean this just comes to my ignorance, but then I also got to push back. A lot of the sales that were coming from Etsy, now you're selling on other platforms.
Yeah.
Why are we so confident that it's going to be just as successful, if not more, when obviously the bread and butter was Etsy?
Actually, I made more on Shopify last year than I did on Etsy.
Yes, but last year we didn't make much money compared to what your goal is.
It's more just a confidence in both the niche I have and how it grew, because it just grew. Like I started doing this in the summer of 17, and it just grew well every year. Yeah. And so I am betting heavily on it, but I also have.
And that's okay. I love business. Yeah. I mean, that's great. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But that's good. How are people finding your website? So through the ads on Google?
And
have you tried Facebook? Because Facebook, you can be pretty targeted and it's really cheap.
It is, but since I do copyrighted stuff, I did try it. They flagged it, but
fair enough.
Yeah. And
have you ever thought of doing? I know your bread and butter again is in the designs that already exist, but then you do it in your own art.
I've been moving away from that, and that's kind of setting up the goal for next year. I'm making some I actually had a custom order recently for like a special LED wall clock. That was like 34 inches. You know, it's huge, and I love it. And I'm really going to start creating a lot more designs for it and start pushing it out. I'm not really going to try and push it in the next 2 months because, but lay that out for next year. Plus, I have a whole lot of other stuff.
Well, can I see what you've made? I know you brought a couple things.
Yes, I'd love to show this to you. This one, this is, I think you're going to really like this.
Let's see it. If you want to like pull it around to where you are.
All right. This one, a little bit of a personal one. I noticed something on your wall, which, is that a pocket knife or pocket?
Here, Brandon, you want to come over here and be cameraman?
What?
Yeah, sure.
Scissors?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't.
Perfect. Yeah, problem applying in. You can't have your pocket knife on.
I also have a hammer for.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm helping. I'm helping, guys.
All right. I have been playing this since literally day one. I actually skipped school when I was in high school.
Playing?
Playing.
Playing what?
Yeah, a little messy, but
I hate that sound.
the foam board kind of fell apart.
It's a thing. It's a creature.
Is that a grunt?
Halo, Master Chief.
Oh, it is. Brandon recognized it. Film guy, he recognized it. But now that you say that, oh, I recognize. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool. Dun, 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 dun.
Basically.
Dun, 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 dun.
Kind of, yeah, but
Dude, that's sick. Wow, how long did that take you?
about an hour or so. This takes about an hour to make.
Hour? That took an hour? Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's so cool.
And it comes with a power cord. So it had LEDs on the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. We're gonna have to do it in the end so you guys can see it. We'll have to plug that in. That is so cool, dude.
I love making those. They're so much fun. I have them for like all sorts of.
And you're just in the shop doing that yourself, like that's so cool.
Yeah. And like you said, I had another one, which
Oh yeah.
I didn't think. Oh, here you go.
I might commission you for something.
I would love it. And
When we're
I didn't
moving
think
into
you'd be
new
yelling
space.
at me too much about these. So
That's so cool. Oh, look at that.
and I actually kind of have one of those kind of hanging on my rear view mirror. So whenever I start thinking I might, drive around and do something, impulsively stupid,
That's so
I can.
funny.
So yeah, just like I said,
You're very talented, man. You're very talented. I love it. So like again, I think this is really cool. In the future, can we please pay our taxes though?
Yeah, I'm getting that taken care of, and I'm getting ahead of everything, or basically laying the groundwork a lot for this year to take off and get ahead of everything next year.
That's so cool. Taquitos.
And I
love it.
I didn't think you would yell at me too much about having taquitos in the budget, and I actually don't have any. I promise you, I do not have any gas station taquito, except I take that back. One or two expenses on when I was going down to the wedding. I was actually off my meds that day, and so
don't do that.
Yeah, it was a mistake. So my appetite was through the roof. But other than that, I did not eat taquitos at a gas station, and it was only the $200 in cash that I withdrew.
How often do you find yourself forgetting to take your medication?
This was just not very often.
Good.
This was just a kind of a one-off thing. I have like a pill container and with all my supplements, and just for whatever reason, I did not have my Adderall in it for those few days.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
the Adderall shortage. How'd that affect you?
A little annoying, but overall not too bad. I'm usually able to get everything on time.
Okay, cool. All right, and then in our in the SoFi, great getting.
Yeah.
Well, do you have direct deposit turned on?
I've been trying. I submitted the paperwork to my company.
So you can get that to 4.6%.
I know, and I submitted the paperwork to my company, and they still are not splitting my paycheck a lot. And I have half of my paycheck going to SoFi now.
So what will help you here? Because we have, obviously we have a tremendous round of debt, and it's rough. It is rough, but we're having a budget that you've transitionary period, and I'm happy for that. We can celebrate that. Don't think that I'm not celebrating that. Or I'm just trying to get it is trying to shoot for the perfect budget.
Yeah.
Not every month is going to be the same. There's always going to be the things that pop up, but the bull stuff that we're choosing to do still is that's where I really want to get that to true sacrifice. Like I true sacrifice getting out of debt. Now I don't have, I have my own mental health issues. I do not have that. But I was able to cut to zero when it comes to bull. I know it can be done. No paid for fun. I went to the parks.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Which the fun budget has been going down every month as well too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to get to zero. So what can we do to help you? Would it help if I made a budget of what I think would work? Yeah, or what are you trying to get out of this conversation?
I would love to see your budget and how it compared up to mine. I know there's going to be a lot of differences, or you have to make probably a few tweaks as well, just for like the mental health stuff, and then honestly, just being on blast with everybody like this, and it basically kind of creates like novelty and interest and like urgency. Like, so that's when you have ADD, that was what really drives your ability to focus and stay motivated on a task. So by doing this, I'm, putting out all the stuff online, and I hope to be back in 6 months and 12 months with a follow-up. And so now that I'm committing to this, and
also follow-ups along the way. If you want to put them in our newsletter, we send them to guests. We send them out to everyone who's subscribed to that as well, which is a good portion of the audience here. So
the budget and the accountability is going to be a huge help. And
what's your rent again?
$900.
Okay. Saving that money. I love when my money is making more money, and the SoFi high yield savings account I use has 4.6% interest on that money. It's the savings account I personally use for my tax money that I set aside and other money that I just want to be building while it's just sitting there. And you can get bonuses by signing up all the way up to $250 by using my affiliate link in the description below. And it's not just because they're my affiliate. I personally use them. They're great. I've had a great experience with them so far. And I only recommend those who I like working with and who I like using. So if you have money sitting in savings, have that money make some more money and use that high yield savings account. Link in the description below. 4.6% and bonuses all the way up to $250. Cool. $900 for rent, and renter's insurance.
Do not have it. I'll get it at the end of the month.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to put 15. Health insurance. What are you doing right now?
I have a weird health benefit plan since I'm a subcontractor, so I don't have like a full, but I do have some which is just covered withdrawn from my paycheck. So I don't know.
Withdrawn from your paycheck. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know how much it is.
Cool. No car payment.
No, I have
that's good.
Yeah.
How much in gas a month?
Right now, $400 to $500 because my job. I have a Nissan Titan.
Oh, but it's for your job. So
yeah, so I do get some reimbursement, but that's also kind of why I eat out a lot, because I'm traveling all day. And yes, I know you and Graham, if he's watching, is going to yell at me to pack a lunch, and that's part of what I've been doing with the restricting the eating out budget. Now that I went to just like $100 a paycheck to cover for 2 weeks of eating out.
Oh, we'll get there. Let's build your budget first. So we have your gas. What's about your car insurance?
90-ish, I believe.
Not too shabby. Yeah. Okay. And phone bill?
Also 90, though my phone needs to be replaced. So it's probably going to jump up to about 140, 150.
Well, why finance it though? That doesn't make sense. What? Let's get to a point where your minimum monthly payments are less big. Let's put that in the budget for a month that you go and just get your phone. It doesn't have to be the
I could
new
just pull
iPhone.
I could just pull out of the emergency fund if I need to, but my phone is like 3 years old.
You can also buy it on behalf of the business, and it just,
Yeah, you're right. That is one of the things I'm looking into my accountant about once I get a hold of him what can I write off?
Grocery, we proved easily $250 gives 2,500 calories a day plus snacks as well. Mm-hmm. So
I currently have it budgeted for like 350, 400. And and I started looking online, like you said, at HEB, Safeway, seeing what their meal prep stuff is. So
we did a HEB, and what you can do is you can go online there, and then as you're meal prepping, putting your menu together, you sort by cheapest. Yeah. And then you're able to usually just get the store brands, and then if the pickup option there is free, and it is at HEB, it prevents you from going through the aisles and picking up all the extra stuff like, ooh, that sounds good. Okay, so food, $300, toilet paper fund. This is just everything else you need to just survive. $100. Okay, medications. How much a month?
About 60. And mental.
And then therapy?
Therapy now down to 320.
Okay, and utilities and internet?
About 70 to 80.
We'll do 80 then to be conservative.
Yeah. And I do have a gym membership.
How much?
It is, one of them is $25 a month, and the other one's like,
why are there two?
One's Muay Thai and one's just strength training. So like 120.
How much total?
So 150 total.
Okay. Anything else you need to survive?
The YouTube subscription. That's my only.
I'll give you $20 for subscription.
And the other ones we talked about, which is going to be probably an extra $60 a month for both of them.
For what?
The one we talked about beforehand.
So something you have to pay for, that's going to be $60. So I'm giving you a total of $80. Okay. What else?
And
what else we need to survive?
Oh, please bump it up to 90 because I need that focus made as well.
Okay. 90. What else? Pets?
I do have a cat and a dog, so about 100 a month. They're both old, so they need the fancier, nicer health food.
Okay. I don't know what your business expenses are. I can't really go through. You didn't give me anything. For that, so
I know that was a choice on my end.
It would have been very helpful though. It's hard to do this without a full picture.
And I got so much I need to sort out on that one. I wish I could. I just want to get that one sorted out first. Maybe next time around, if I'm back here, I'll do that. But
okay, so nothing else.
And then one of the things I did put into myself is I just called it a bad day fund for $100. Just basically when something goes sideways.
Yeah, but what if we have bad days? Boom, 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 boom.
I don't have many of them.
Yeah, that's what you say. But look, what if you do? What if you do though? You're giving yourself this excuse.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm giving myself basically if something goes sideways, it doesn't blow out my whole budget. So I have an extra $100. Okay. I eat out once. All right. I'm not going to beat up myself because I went over everything.
It's not about beating yourself up, but it's about keeping yourself accountable. We don't have to go just straight up negative with it. Like when I'm trying to lose weight, when I eat something bad, I'm not like, Caleb, why? Yeah. But it's just like, oh, it happened. Okay, what can we do to prevent it in the future? So instead of enabling ourselves by giving us the ability to have that.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's there, but not to be used. And
you are not open to change.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying this is what I found has been working for me. And like I said, I tried to.
Which is great. We found that worked for you. But aren't we just trying to always get better though? Isn't that the goal? Yeah. Okay, so be open.
Okay.
$3,000 essentially. $2,975 is what your budget is with your minimum monthly payments for the student loans as well, and the Colorado thing.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And I know there were monthly payment options in the collections. I don't know. So $4,000 comes in before setting aside taxes on the other stuff.
I bring in an extra $2,000 a month from both the shop and side hustles.
Yeah. What are the side hustles?
I give plasma, and right now I do DoorDash. I'm not doing it right now because the shop is making up for it. But once things start slowing down, I'll do that more often. So you can look at an average of $6,000 a month plus whatever I'm going to start making at the new job once I get it. So
you can do color matching really well. What I want to commission you for is in the new office, financial audit logo, LED. And then we'll obviously put the core. I
honestly thought about doing that, but just didn't have enough time to get everything off.
Well, yeah, I think we're gonna pay for it. We're gonna do it because you obviously do great work.
Thank you.
Not to go negative, but I don't know what to do here. This is what I would do. This is what I would do, and this is what I have done in the past when I knew, hey, my situation's. I'm going to go crazy, intense, absolutely wild right now and sacrifice everything because if I don't, the extra fees on the IRS stuff is going to continue to build. I owe my family money. I don't want to owe my family money, especially at 40. I don't want to owe my friends money at 40.
Yeah.
My retirement, what's it at?
It's nothing.
Okay. Yeah. That terrifies me. So what do? I sacrifice instead of enabling myself for potential mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen, but we don't give ourselves the wiggle room necessarily to have them we don't put it in the budget to have mistakes. Yeah. If mistakes happen, we're like, okay, why did that happen? What can I do in the future to make sure it doesn't? So I wouldn't put it in the budget because you're excusing yourself already preemptively. And I don't like that. It might work for some. There are going to be people who disagree with me. That's okay.
And well, that's, if you don't mind me saying, that's part of the problem with just like ADD is because you fail so often.
I know.
And
are you going to use it as a crutch though?
No, I don't. This is a handicap, not an excuse.
I know.
And,
okay.
And I have to make sort of different allowances for things. And I hate to say it, but part of me expects to fail. But what I do, and this is not a negative way, it's okay. It's
you
gonna
talk to your therapist about this. This isn't me.
Yeah, no. But what I'm trying to say, and I want other people to know is, okay, you expect to fail, but I plan to. How do I minimize it? How do I, drag out whatever plan I'm on? How do I keep fighting and working it as much as possible without giving up, and then how to bounce back and recover as quick as possible. And so that's what I've been focusing on.
I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
And I like you as a person, and I like you as a business, and I'm going to pay for the thing as we talked about. I don't think there's a point of me continuing this conversation.
No, I'm listening, and
you have everything made up in your head.
No, I am going to. You got this budget. I'm going to do everything possible to stick with it, and when I say I know I'm not going to, it's not saying I'm not going to stick with it completely. I know something's going to go south. I'm going to have a bad day. Something's going to happen, but I'm going to bounce back and try and stick with it as quickly as possible. So my hope is if I have a bad day, it doesn't turn into 2, 3, 10 bad days. It's okay. I have a bad day. Let's get back on the saddle and keep going. So you have the setup for me, and I will do the best I can for it. And I want to because I got so much debt and I want to pay it off.
Okay. So what I would do, I'd follow this budget.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get on a payment plan with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
I'd talk to your CPA about it and last year's taxes, because obviously that's going to impact this as well, because I don't see that, right? I don't see last year's taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it might be switching to a different CPA that's not recommended from family that has good reviews in the area.
Yeah.
And it is going to take time. It's not going to be an instantaneous thing,
yeah.
but you already have a lot of the paperwork that you provided for the last CPA that you can just migrate over.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's going to be faster.
In order to get there, what you have to do is sacrifice now. I would pay off the collections, negotiate them.
Yeah, that's on the plan.
It's going to be a pain in the butt. And with, a lot of that you deal with, the consistency that is required for negotiating and collections and being persistent, it's going to be a tough work because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in collections. So that's 6 things you have to negotiate one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
People like you, and many times on the show, who have said, because I did $1,000 saved up, trying to pay off debt, and it put me in a worse situation than I was before, let's actually be an adult and accept that maybe it's not enough and we need to update it, especially since we try to do one size fits all.
And so, so that's what I'm hoping to do, or not hoping, my plan. So
sorry, little rant. Go ahead. I
understand. So I'm going to have $8,000 in the emergency fund, and then I'm just going to start throwing everything at the debt. I'll definitely make more progress on the IRS. Hopefully I can negotiate something or do an offer, and then just, like you said, just start knocking them off and see what more I can find out about that collection stuff. Cause I don't know why it's not showing up. I know it's so weird, but yeah.
When it comes to spending a budget, obviously, progress is being made, and we love that. So it just wasn't perfect. So it's on the way. Because of that, 5 out of 10. Debt, IRS debt, collections automatically 0 out of 10. Emergency fund, $2,000. 2 out of 10. Retirement, nothing, 0 out of 10. Real estate, nothing, so 0 out of 10. That's a Hammer Financial score, 1.5 out of 10. Make sure to check out all the resources linked in the description below. They are what I use or would use in specific situations. Thanks to all of our Patreon producers for making this episode possible. If you want to participate in an episode of Financial Audit and you're able to make it to Austin, Texas, please fill out an application in the survey linked in the description below. You can also send a link to your friends or family who you think might be good to be on the show. If you have any questions, you can email casting@calebhammer.com.